Man, I'm not gonna lie, I feel kind of underwhelmed right now. We've had trade speculation with this guy for weeks, and it was a really big deal. Oh, he's so good in the NCAA. He's one of the best prospects on the scene right now, and he gets traded 1-for-1 for Brayden Yager? That's it? The Winnipeg Jets and the Pittsburgh Penguins have made themselves a trade. It is a 1-for-1 trade. It is Brayden Yager to Winnipeg for Rutger McGroarty going over to Pittsburgh. Both players were picked 14th overall, 1 year apart. Yager helped the Moose Jaw Warriors to a Memorial Cup, and McGroarty indicated to the Jets that he would not sign in Winnipeg. There then was the immediate contract signing by the Pittsburgh Penguins after acquiring McGroarty from the NHL Jets. The Let's Go Penguins have signed him to a 3-year ELC. $855,000 NHL salary, $95,000 salary bonus, and then he's got extra performance bonuses at $500,000, so who knows whether or not he's going to hit those. But realistically, this is making my job a lot easier. Rutger McGroarty for Brayden Yager, that's it. I mean, we had seen a whole bunch of trade rumors, trade speculation. Oh, what kind of a package is Rutger McGroarty going to be able to fetch the Winnipeg Jets? What are teams going to overpay to get this guy who is a 20-year-old dude who is really good in the NCAA? He was one of the best NCAA players last year. 52 points in 36 games and 9 points in 7 games for Team USA as the captain at the World Juniors. There was a lot of hype for McGroarty, right? Oh, he's going to get so much stuff and he's going to be so good and he could have signed an NHL contract and he could have played in the NHL, but he just didn't want to play in Winnipeg. He didn't like the place. That's the only thing. The only hiccup in the road here was that he didn't like the team that drafted him for whatever reason. He didn't feel that Winnipeg would be able to develop him properly. He saw the other younger guys, the Ville Heinolas of the world, I guess you could throw the Christian Vesalainens in there, some of the other guys that were drafted by Winnipeg. And he said, hey, these guys didn't develop. These guys didn't carve out NHL careers for themselves, not at their own faults, but because the Winnipeg Jets failed to give them those opportunities. And I don't want to subject myself to that kind of development, so I'm going to request a trade and make it very clear that I'm not going to sign with the Winnipeg Jets. And for a good chunk of time, I'd say for like a week or two, a lot of people said, yeah, this is one of the top trade chips. This is the guy. If you want Necas, okay, he's more established, he's more NHL ready, he's already more expensive, and he's good, but Rutger McGroarty, watch out for McGroarty, this is going to be the guy, man, 20 years old, he's got a lot of potential. And he gets traded 1-for-1 for Brayden Yager. Like, not to disrespect Brayden Yager, but this is a very lateral move if I saw a lateral move. 14th overall in 2023 by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Rutger McGroarty was 14th overall by the Winnipeg Jets in 2022. So as Saravelli said, 2 14th overall picks swapped 1-for-1. Brayden Yager, though, I don't know if I would say I think of him as highly as a prospect compared to Rutger McGroarty, mostly because I think for Brayden Yager, his WHL production, that's all great. I mean, he was a force out there with the Moose Jaw Warriors, 95 points in 57 games played, 27 points in 20 games played in the playoffs, and then, of course, he had suited up at the Memorial Cup, 6 points, 4 games over there. He was good. It's a lot more difficult to score points at a higher level like the NCAA compared to the WHL. And honestly, for Brayden Yager, I think there was a chance that he slipped a little bit further down in that 2023 draft anyway. I mean, some of these rankings had him as low as number 22, some at 30, so Brayden Yager, I'd say, just in my own viewing of these prospects, I'd say that McGroarty is the superior prospect, so I think for the Winnipeg Jets, they are getting a little bit worse here, but then again, I mean, what can you do? The guy wanted out. There's nothing really that you had any leverage on in this situation. Everybody knew that McGroarty was going to give Winnipeg some problems if they didn't trade him, so they kind of had to trade him. Everybody knew that. And Pittsburgh decided to take advantage of a guy that was supposed to be, in some people's eyes, a top 15 pick. Others, though, had him a lot lower, like 40th overall by Elite Prospects. Also, is that the Why I Want video that I saw? Yes, wow. It's one of the first videos on here. That's crazy. Thank you, Elite Prospects, for making my imposter syndrome not feel all too spicy today. But point production-wise, Rutger McGroarty is the superior prospect to Brayden Yager. It's just a lot more difficult to produce points in the NCAA than the WHL. But Yager is still a good prospect. The Jets are getting a good one. The puck absolutely explodes off of Brayden Yager's stick. No matter how compromised his body positioning appears to be during release. He rips it off either leg in just about any way. Two-touch, one-timer, and catch and release. His inside leg wrister is his signature shot, tipping his weight over his outside edge while somehow keeping his chest up and exploding through the shot. He takes every single puck directly into his shooting pocket, prepared for the next play. Brayden Yager has been a scoring force in the junior hockey scene in Moose Jaw, which is awesome to see. Meanwhile, for Rutger McGroarty, you would imagine that he has an NHL role as soon as this upcoming year, maybe even with some of the top guys that still exist in Pittsburgh, like Sidney Crosby, like Evgeny Malkin. If they wanted to try this guy out on the power play, I would be very intrigued as to how that experiment goes down, because with somebody with as raw of an offensive touch like Rutger McGroarty, maybe that's what the Pittsburgh Penguins need to replace Jake Gensel and give Michael Bunting a little bit of breathing room and allow him to be more so of just the pure net front guy. You could use a little bit more perimeter scoring, a guy who can work it on the outside, cut in, and open up passing lanes and shooting lanes. Rutger McGroarty could do that. Who really knows? Like, I don't want to put words in the Pittsburgh Penguins coaching staff's mouths, but if they wanted to go with something like McGroarty, Crosby, Carlson, Malkin, and Bunting as their power play, I actually see a little bit of value in that. And it's not like Brayden Yager wouldn't have been able to do that. It's just, I think that Rutger McGroarty, who is a little bit bigger, he's 6'1", Brayden Yager's only 5'11", I do think that McGroarty is more equipped for that kind of a role, especially right now in the NHL. If you wanted to go out there and read the scouting report here on McGroarty, where most players outrace, McGroarty delays with a cutback or simply a glide and angling away from back pressure. Those delays house his playmaking, where he's deceptive, precise, and identifying of the best play. He uses give-and-goes instead of deking and consistently occupies the space that maximizes his odds of getting the puck back. He is a bull, too, relentlessly attacking the inside, combining skill and physicality. McGroarty can roughen up if you really want him to, and so there's a lot of extra value there that I think Brayden Yager just does not possess, considering he is a little bit smaller. Obviously, like, I'm saying that Pittsburgh won the trade, but it wasn't really like, oh, they ended up outsmarting Winnipeg and doing this. Nah, they just kind of had to win the trade because Winnipeg was going to lose. That's it. It was automatic because Winnipeg knew they had themselves a guy that did not want to be there. Everybody else in the hockey world knew that McGroarty didn't want to be there. So because Winnipeg lost a lot of leverage, they kind of lost this trade by default because they didn't get a return that was as big as what a lot of people hoped they'd be able to get. Oh, a first-round pick and another prospect and a roster player. Like, no, it's just 1-for-1 for the other 14th overall guy from a year later. So this really isn't that crazy of a move, but it is a move, and I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. How do you feel about the Rutger McGroarty trade? It's already here. It's already finalized. It's McGroarty for Yager. It's 1-for-1. Pittsburgh, I think, is getting the better player, but Winnipeg, they're getting an alright guy to relieve themselves from the pressure of the Rutger McGroarty situation. Ultimately, I think if Winnipeg could have squeezed out an extra pick, like a 5th or something, that would have made this trade a lot more even, but, you know, I'm not going to go out there and pull my hair out over the lack of a 5th-round pick in a trade. I don't even cheer for any of these two teams, so I'm okay with it. But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this 1-for-1 trade. Brayden Yager, Rutger McGroarty, both players 14th overall guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.